This comes up in nearly some form every single year, so you've got to know all about adaptations. Now, there's lots of variation in the world and in nature, and the variation is because those organisms are adapted to the environment in which they live. We've looked at the resources that animals might compete for. Give me a follow and go check that out if you didn't see it. And those animals that are competing, some are going to be better adapted than other individuals. If they're better adapted, that's going to feed into evolution. Let me know in the comments, what's the process by which evolution takes place? Now, adaptations fall into three major categories. We have our structural adaptations. These are structural features of the animal or the plant that helps them to survive. We're going to look at hot, cold environments and look at some plants as well. We also have behavioral adaptations. Now, the behavioral adaptations are about how the organism behaves, how it changes its behavior in order to fit the environment in which it lives. A good example of this is like hunting in packs, also huddling behavior in order to keep warm. And then we have functional adaptations, or sometimes referred to as physiological adaptations. Now, those adaptations are all about the way that the organism changes its kind of functioning of its cells in order to produce different things or in order to carry out perhaps different reactions that enable it to survive. Right, let's look at these three different conditions and talk about the adaptations for them. Well, the first one, we're going to talk about hot environments. Now, the challenge with a hot environment is, well, high temperature, and as a result, low amounts of water. There's very, very little water available. The organism wants to avoid overheating. So in order to do that, it needs to lose heat as easily as possible. So in hot environments, we find animals that have a large surface area to volume ratio. Think about an elephant. An elephant has got really, really big ears, which increases the body's surface area to volume ratio and enables it to lose heat. As well as a large surface area to volume ratio, the organisms in hot environments might be nocturnal. This would be a behavioral adaptation. This way they are not out in the middle of the day, it's not as hot, it is cooler at night, and they are less likely to overheat. The animals as well might also produce lots of concentrated urine. Now, when they produce the concentrated urine, that is going to reduce the amount of water that they are losing. All right, let's talk about the cold adaptations. Well, if the organisms in the hot want to have a large surface area to volume ratio, in the cold, they're going to have a small surface area to volume ratio. This means that they're going to reduce the amount of thermal energy that is being transferred to the surroundings. In order to also reduce the amount of thermal energy that's being transferred, they might have really, really thick fur or fatty layers